Hello guys, so in today's video we're going to be talking about my two smaller colonies of Pheidole ants.
And taking pictures of an isopod.
They're doing really well, as you can see in this extreme close-up, and they're around 10 to 15 colony members at this point because they just recently went from around 24 to 15 or 16 because they die very fast because they're so small. Most of these particular workers on this video are actually not fully hardened. That's why they're more of an orange tinge compared to a much darker red tinge, which is what they'll look like when they're all fully hardened. If you look at their gasters, they're completely full of honey. Here you can see that their water is still completely full, and how they've dug around that cotton. It's actually kind of concerning because it could start leaking, and a leak is no good. Here's another one of the workers just kind of running around. In my opinion, the most exciting part about keeping ants is watching their pupa and their eggs grow and their larvae and all that good stuff. And right here you can see a massive explosion is about to take place to replace the old generation, which has already started dying off. And as you can see, they're going to be up in the 40s here soon enough. And I wouldn't be surprised if a few of those are actually majors. I just can't make them out because my eyes aren't microscopes. This is the most exciting part about this colony. They got their first major. You can see her down there. She's completely full of honey. She seems to be properly formed. All legs, antenna, eyes, and all other parts seem to be intact. And she seems to be healthy. Look how large that brood pile is compared to that major. It is massive. And you can also see how large the major is and the queen right above her. This angle was filmed with my normal phone, so it looks a little different, and you can see the more realistic colors of everything. You can see the queen in the middle of the screen almost, the major, and then the massive pile of brood. And you can also see the workers with their antenna tending to the brood. Here's an out view of the whole entire test tube. As you can see, it's very basic, and you can also see the size of the ants. They are extremely small, as I said, and that's mostly because they're Pheidole. And most big head ants are just really, really small. These guys are constantly moving around, as you can see, and even though there's around 16 of them and not much more, they're still constantly moving. Here's the next colony. And as you can see, the queen is much more visible along with all of the brood and the workers. And that's because this one, even though their test tube is nastier, has somehow managed to keep the glass cleaner, which makes absolutely no sense. This brood pile is a little bit smaller, and that's mostly because half of their pupa aren't pupa, they're still larvae. And that's because this colony started a little bit before the other colony, which I just showed. So their pupa are not quite to the same stage as the other colony's pupa. Look at those little antennae move. Here's a newly hatched larva. Here is an egg. All of those little bumps are one of the two. This colony has around 16 to 18 workers, I'm pretty sure, which is slightly bigger than the other one. I'm pretty sure all three of these larvae are major larvae, so hopefully soon I'll have 3 majors in this colony. Those 2 ants in the middle are actually cleaning each other off, which is absolutely adorable. You can also see the one closer to the bottom is actually an older worker than the one that's cleaning it. The way you can tell is, as stated, one's darker, one's lighter. I can't believe that queens this small can produce hundreds of eggs a day. I mean, it's so impressive. And look at all of these brood that have come out of her in the past 2 to 3 weeks. And you can even see all of the new eggs that have been laid within 3 to 4 days. I mean, it's just so cool, unique, and impressive. If you look close, you can also see their gasters are full of honey as well. Here's a zoom out of the whole colony, and you can really see how they're all just kind of packed into this little room they've made in the cotton. And you can also see that they're almost completely out of water. Now, I did actually put them in a container with a water test tube, and I have seen them going into it and drinking, so I do know for a fact that they are getting proper hydration. And if this ever gets too dry, they can always move their brood to the new test tube. It's amazing how large this colony looks, even though there are very, very, very small species. Hopefully the next video you see these guys in, they'll have 3 majors, maybe more, and a lot more workers. At the time of next video, they should have 50, easily. Here's a closer look into the nest, where you can just see the general inner workings of it. The queen moving around, the workers moving around, the brood being tended to. In my opinion, this is my favorite part, the inner workings of the nest. It is a truly unique thing to get to witness with your own 2 eyes. And to anyone who wants to keep ants, I would definitely recommend it, as they are extremely easy to keep and very fascinating to watch and very rewarding, unless of course you want to pet them. Here's another zoom out, and you can see their whole entire nest is the size of my finger. Not 1 ant, not 50 ants, but the whole entire nest.
Now it's time for me to photograph this little isopod I found. I found him in one of my brother's friend's tanks that he gifted me. He was all alone, so no more than one. I'm not going to release him because it's the middle of winter, and I don't feel like he would make it, so I've decided to just keep him in a petri dish with some sphagnum moss, carrot, and I also gave him one of my old mealworm molds from one of my mealworms. He's pretty large, so he was pretty easy to grab. He has a yellow stripe going down his back, and then a bunch of other random brown and black colors that you would expect to find on an isopod that's been under leaves for its entire life outside. Nothing too particularly unique about this guy. I just like how he looked and decided to take pictures of him because, hey, it's a bug. This guy was quite a joy to just let run around, as he's absolutely adorable. Man, I say adorable about everything, but I mean it every time. This guy was absolutely adorable, and he just kept running all around me. So I let him run around me for a good 10 to 20 minutes and just have fun. None of these photos are edited in any way, shape, or form. I post all of my high quality photos on Instagram, although here's some of the funnier and better quality photos I got. This one's funnier, this one is definitely better quality, and I absolutely love the yellow stripe down the middle of them. Anyways, I'm just going to let you enjoy looking at the rest of these photos real quick. As you can tell, my hand is clearly my chosen tool to use to take photographs of bugs with, because every time I take a photo of one, they're always on my hands. Makes it a whole lot easier when the bugs are on your hands, because it's a lot harder to lose a grain of rice with legs when it's on you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and go check out my Instagram and TikTok for high quality footage and photos. See ya!